Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Carlos Rosillo. I'm a real estate agent with Century 21 Peak in the city of Downey. Thank you for taking the time to join us for our first real estate live forum. A little bit of background of our company. Century 21 is the most recognized name in real estate and also the most respected. The main purpose of today's forum is to provide you with some information about several important topics in real estate. One of them is COVID-19. Another one is sellers and buyers, credit and financing, upsizing and downsizing, and also relocation. At the end of the presentation, we're going to try to answer all questions, right? But any questions that you may have right now, you could start entering in the chat box and we'll get to them. Our first presenter, her name is Erica Montenegro, and she's going to be talking about COVID-19.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you all once again for taking the time to join us today. I want to briefly discuss COVID-19 and its effects that it's had on our real estate industry. Initially, we did see a dip in activity, and that was mostly caused by the paranoia revolving going outside and the strict stay-at-home order that was implemented. However, now we are experiencing a very competitive market. So despite the uncertainty revolving COVID-19, we do have a massive amount of buyers that are interested in purchasing a home. If you are someone who was considering purchasing a home prior to this pandemic, but you don't feel so certain that right now is the right time, please reach out to myself or one of my colleagues. We'd be happy to address any of your questions or concerns. I do understand that many people are expecting or waiting or just really anticipating for this market crash that is bound to happen. But the reality of the matter is that there's no true way in estimating when that market crash is going to happen. We find that back in 2008, lenders were not really upholding as high of standards as they are now. Lenders are now conducting multiple employment verification checks throughout the life of your transaction. And the reasoning for that is to avoid having unqualified buyers purchasing a home like we did back in 2008. This is just one of the many examples and standards that lenders have now implemented. If there's one thing that I would love for each and every one of you to take away from this forum, it would be to buy a home when you are ready, when you are willing, and when you are able. Trying to anticipate the housing market is near to impossible. And the right time to buy a house is going to be when you find the perfect place to call home and when you can afford it. As an industry, we are all taking the necessary precautions to put your safety as a priority. So when viewing homes, we're making sure that all members are wearing face masks. We also have limited the number of individuals allowed into a property at a time. So typically you'll find that it's only the agent and the buyer, maybe an additional person, but never exceeding a total of 3. I know that I personally like to take gloves and shoe coverings for my buyers to wear if that helps them feel more comfortable. And I also make sure to always travel with my hand sanitizer and my Clorox disinfectant wipes. And that way we can just clean down any surfaces that were touched during the showing. So even then, if you still don't feel comfortable despite these measures being taken, we can always arrange for a property to be shown and viewed through virtual tours. So believe me, if there is a will, there's a way. Thank you guys, and please continue to stay tuned as my colleague Elsa is going to be sharing very helpful information for both buyers and sellers.
Thank you, Erica, and good afternoon to all. My name is Elsa Diaz, and I'm a realtor with Century 21, and I will be providing important information on buying and selling during this competitive and busy housing market. As my colleague Erica explained, we as realtors are following all CDC regulations to ensure that we all stay healthy during the process, thus allowing us to continue to help both buyers and sellers. We understand that some may not be able to purchase at this time due to uncertainties. However, please do not get discouraged, as we are here to help you through that process. When you are comfortable to take that first step, please reach out to us and we will be more than happy to help you. If you would like more information, please list it in the comment box below, and we will be able to provide you with the 3 top tips to get you ready to purchase your home. Now, if you have been thinking of buying and you're wondering if this is the right time, let me tell you, it's time. Interest rates are historically low, and there are a vast number of buyers out there who are well qualified and ready to purchase. Now, you might be wondering, what is the first step that you need to take? You need to reach out to us. We will put you in contact with a mortgage lender, or if you have a lender that you would prefer for us to work with, we will be more than happy to do so. My colleague Wendy will go more into details regarding this phase. So once you have met with the mortgage lender and the purchase price has been established, we will meet with you to discuss a game plan to achieve your home ownership. We can meet with you at your home, at our office, via Zoom, whichever platform you prefer. We will be here to help you through the entire phase. Remember that purchasing a home will be the most important investment you make in your lifetime. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Now, if you are needing to sell your home, this is also a great time for you. As I explained earlier, there are vast numbers of buyers out there who are taking advantage of these low interest rates, who are qualified, able, and ready to go to purchase your home. And with the low interest rates, that even makes your home sell a little bit quicker. Now, we do encounter multiple offer situations, and your house might sell for slightly a little bit higher than listed price. But as a side note, we still have to go through the appraisal phase. So just put your trust in us, and we will make sure that we keep your best interest in mind always. We also know that there are other factors we need to keep in mind when selling your home, whether you're downsizing, upsizing, getting a divorce, or selling a family home. As your realtors, we will make sure that all facets are handled professionally, concurrently, to ensure minimal amount of stress. And as I mentioned, we will always keep your best interest in mind, whether you're a seller or a buyer. I know this information has been brief. If you have any questions or concerns, please note them in the comment box below, and we will address them once my colleague Esperanza speaks. If you prefer a private consultation, please send us a direct message and we will get in contact with you. Rest assured that we will handle your transaction successfully. Now, my colleague Wendy will be providing you some additional important information. Wendy?
Yes, thank you, Elsa. Good afternoon. And I hope everybody is keeping hydrated because I know it's hot out there. My name is Wendy Carrillo, and I'm a realtor here in Downey. I'm sure many of you are wondering if you need to be pre-approved, or asking why you need to be pre-approved if you haven't found a home you would like to purchase yet. In this market, it is imperative that you are pre-approved. Because of the pandemic, most listings require proof of approval, pre-approval, among other things, just to be able to view the property. There is a deficiency in inventory, and if you like a property, it's important to be able to put in an offer as soon as possible. Some think the process of pre-approval is hard, but in reality, it's not that difficult. Here are a few things that you're gonna need to be pre-approved. The last 2 years of your federal tax returns, the last 2 years of your W-2s, the last 2 months of bank statements, most recent 30-day pay stubs, and your social security number. I know that there are some people that have been laid off, and please don't worry about that. From what we've been hearing from lenders is that if you can apply to be pre-approved after being back to your job for at least 1 month. These are unprecedented times, and it seems that everything changes daily. Please keep in contact with us and we will guide you through the process. I also know most of you are thinking or worrying about having to go into the office at this time, and that's okay. Our lenders will work with you via email and even over the phone. Please don't let the pandemic stop you from purchasing a home. Right now, financing is at really low. Rates change daily, but what I can tell you is that the industry has never seen the rates this low. We have qualified lenders ready and willing to help you get pre-approved with great rates. Please don't be intimidated by the process of being pre-approved. We are here to help you and to facilitate your experience in buying out your home. Please let us know in the chat box if you have any questions. After the forum, we will be addressing them. And now we will hear from Edie.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Edie Kelly. I'm a realtor with Century 21 in Downey. Thank you so much on this hot day for joining us. And I want to go over the frequent questions that we're asked about qualifying for a conventional loan. Now, qualifying for a conventional loan, you will need a FICO score of 700 plus to get the best interest rate. But take heart, if you don't have that, there are other alternatives for you. There is the FHA and there's VA loans where you can have a lower FICO score and even a low down payment, or with the VA, no down payment. But if you're thinking of going with a conventional lender, and we have our own lender, Peak Finance, that will talk to you over the phone and qualify you, you need to start looking at your credit record and your FICO score. Even at 680 or 660, you will probably still be able to secure a loan, but it may be at a higher interest rate. How you can get started? You can get started with some of the free apps with Credit Sesame, Bankrate. And you can also ask the big credit organizations for your FICO score. They have to give it to you for free, and your credit report. And some banking or lending institutions will also give it to you for free. Start doing your research. You can get your credit score and your credit report before you approach the lender, so there are no surprises. Now, credit scores are not set in concrete. If you don't have a good FICO score, you can certainly work on it. If you're thinking of buying next year, and you can start changing your financial habits and fixing your credit report. It's not impossible. And on a personal note, you know, when I bought my first home, I was changing my status from married to single, and I didn't do my research and find out what was on my credit report. I just assumed that it was good. But what I found out is, of course, since I had been married, my credit was also associated with my ex-husband. And there were some blemishes that I had to clear up on both of our parts. So I did get the loan. I did buy my first home, but it's always good to know what's there before you approach the lender, so they don't have to call you in and tell you what they see. You already know. I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon, and I'm going to introduce another one of my wonderful colleagues, a great real estate agent. And here she is, Erica Gomez.
Hi, and thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Like Edie said, my name is Erica Gomez, and I'm an agent with Century 21 Peak. And I'm here today to share with you some of the most common life changes that lead us to buying a bigger house or a smaller one. First, I would like to talk to you about buying a bigger house, also known as upsizing. We upsize when we get a better job, when we outgrow our current house, or sometimes when we're looking for a nicer neighborhood. These are considered major life changes. These changes will often lead us to evaluate our current living situation. Sometimes if your family grew so fast that now you need 1 or 2 more bedrooms, you know, it's always a good time to start planning to sell your current house and buy a bigger one. If you own a house that your first house you bought it, but it wasn't in a location of your preference, then it would be a good time to buy another one in a neighborhood where you always dreamed to live in. Today is a great time to evaluate what you want, what you need, what you deserve, and what you can afford. On the other hand, there are other life changes that lead us to buy a smaller home, also known as downsizing. Maybe your employer cut your hours, you had an accident and are currently disabled, or you lost your job, or your kids already grew up and went to college far from home, and now you have extra rooms and extra space in your house. Another reason is when you're close to retiring. All of these circumstances usually force us to think about moving to a smaller space. The goal here is to save money, to lower your bills and your maintenance costs. One of the more neutral reasons to downsize is when you are ready to retire. In this case, when you're closer to retirement, what do you want to do? You want to pursue your hobbies and you want to start traveling around the world, right? So either way, if you're thinking about upsizing or downsizing, it's always very important to consider how much you are able to afford, the ideal size of your new home, and the maintenance cost. Our goal is here to help you create a plan that will help you achieve your goal in your desired time frame, and most important, to be within your budget. We are here to help you every step of the way. And for those of you thinking about moving out of California, we can help too. Our colleague Esperanza Barajas is here to share more information and details about our relocation services. Take it away, Esperanza.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you for all of you joining us today. Like Erica said, my name is Esperanza Barajas. I'm a real estate agent here in Century 21. So I'm going to be talking about relocation. Our relocation department will give you access to information, homes, areas in the desired location. Additionally, if you own a property outside of the area or state, we can arrange for a property evaluation, assist in the listing and sale of your property through qualified Century 21 office and sales association. This referral service is provided at no cost or obligation through our company. Our membership in Century 21, we are affiliated with a real estate company that is specialized in relocation service. And our staff with the agent is specifically trained to answer all your questions and provide you with a quality professional service. Whether it is job-related, corporate transfer, a personal relocation, an investment, or a sale of your property. And also we have the advantage of if you cannot do it, you have the virtual tour, so that make it easier for you guys to be more relaxed. And also, let's go with Carlos to have all the questions you may have for us. And thank you for joining us again.
Hello, guys. I see a question here by Jackie Carrillo. She's asking if there is ever going to be a loan for first-time home buyers, but directed at teachers. I don't know, hey, Edie, would you want to take that question?
Would you, so this is a first-time home buyer, is that correct?
But
Carlos?
she's asking for specifically for teachers.
Oh, for teachers.
Is there anything out there that anybody has heard?
You know, I haven't heard any programs for teachers. We do have a program through Bank of America where they do offer money and lower rates, but I will do my research and find out no later than Monday and answer that question. Just leave your information and I will get back to you personally, no problem.
Okay. So I see another question here, Angelica Nunez. She's asking, what is a short sale? Who wants to answer this?
Okay, well, a short sale is where your home, you've run into a bit of a problem and you want to sell your home and it will be for less than you owe. There was a law passed where now, before when you sold the home and banks say your home was 500,000, it's sold for 412. So that's short of the 500,000 that you owe the bank. And that is a short sale in its simplicity. President Bush passed a law where the bank cannot insist that you pay the rest of that money. So you are protected on a short sale. And if you leave us your information, we will get in detail with that. But it just means that you're in trouble and you're trying to get the house sold, and it will be sold for less than the mortgage itself.
Edie, I would like to also add to Angelica, with the short sale, some people do short sales because they're trying to prevent their credit scores from being impacted versus losing their property. So Angelica, if you have any further questions, we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica.
So I guess the following question she was asking is, what is the difference between a short sale and foreclosure?
Okay, well, foreclosure, of course, and the last stages of foreclosure, the bank is going to take the property. Usually in those last, if it has foreclosed on the property, then you have, they'll give you so many days to leave the property. And that's why some people do choose the short sale, because once they're foreclosed, that does impact your credit rating, your FICO score, and any future of buying a home for several years, because the other lenders look at you and saying, you're a credit risk. You eventually would be able to buy a property, but it would take a number of years. So the difference between the short sale is that you take control. You contact a professional real estate agent, try to get the house sold. Your agent will go and contact your lender with your permission and let them know that you're trying to sell the house. Please don't foreclose on the house. So that is the difference. If one of my colleagues want to expound on that, please.
I think just a little bit. So when you go into foreclosure, that specific event stays on your credit report for 7 years. Yes. And that you also have to wait for 5 years in order to buy. So just a little bit of information there.
Thank you, Carlos.
And also, it's when the foreclosure is when you're already in default of payments and the property ends up being sold by the actual lender at an auction, at a trustee sale, I'm sorry.
True. Thank you, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have another question. This question is by Maria Cano. She's asking, how has COVID affected sales in 2020? Anybody?
Erica?
Well, Maria, COVID has really not affected real estate. It's actually made it where the housing market right now is the hottest and busiest it's been in number of years. People are still buying, people are still selling. We are taking all the precautions that the CDC requires us to take, so to make sure we all stay healthy. But the real estate market is still moving. It is one of the strongest it's been in a couple of years. So rest assured, we do take our precautions. Everybody has stayed healthy, and sales and purchases are still moving along.
I'll give you an example, Maria. We've been showing, some of us have been, actually all of us have been showing properties, and we're competing with 10 or 15 other buyers for one home. And it's because there's so many buyers and the inventory is low. But like Elsa said, rest assured, we're here to help you every step of the way. And any other questions, let us know.
Yes, I was going to add something else. We also need inventory. So if you're thinking of about selling, it's a good opportunity because we're short on inventory. So that would be a great advantage of you.
And I just want to add in a point too. The reason why I think COVID hasn't affected the market as much as many people anticipated it was, is because of the record-breaking interest rates that are available to buyers right now. So earlier on in my presentation, when I said, if you guys have any questions or you guys were entertaining the idea of maybe buying a home prior to all of this happening, I would say one of the biggest benefits of actually continuing that search and that process to purchase a home right now is that there are record-breaking interest rates available for buyers right now. So while the prices are at a higher range, it really is balancing out because you're getting your loans at such a low interest rate.
Let me see here if there's any more questions.
I do want to add to what Esperanza has said. We are very low in inventory and housing inventory. And if you are really thinking of selling, this is the time. We almost guarantee to have your home in escrow within 21 days. That's how fast these homes are selling. And like I had mentioned, slightly above asking price. We do have to go through the appraisal. But yes, if you're thinking of selling, this is the time. Please reach out to us. We will do a comparative market analysis for you at no cost. Just if maybe you're just curious to see what your house is valued at this current market, give us a call or put a comment below, and we will go ahead and contact you and get that market analysis to you free of charge to you.
Another question that I have here, it says, does low inventory mean, bidding wars? Anybody?
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
go ahead.
definitely bidding wars. There's definitely bidding wars, as my colleague Erica explained. We, when submitting offers currently, we are facing multiple offer situation where we are competing for the same house. Let's say maybe 14 other buyers want that same house. But in regards to overpaying for that house, that's when you are protected by the appraisal. So if the appraisal comes back at a lower cost, we will make an adjustment to that offer to make sure that we do not, make sure that you as a buyer do not pay for more than what the house is worth. So both the buyers and the sellers are protected by that appraisal. Now, let's say you fall in love with that property and are willing to put in the difference between the appraised value and the amount you offered. Of course, you're more than welcome to do that. That's another option that we could face when that time comes.
I also want to add on to that, Elsa, in terms of the fact that it's such low inventory. Does that mean houses may be in a bidding war, or the possibility to pay more than what the property is worth? And that's a really good question, Angelica. You have to make sure, like Elsa said, the appraisal is going to protect you against that. But you also have to make sure that the agent you're working with is representing you and really fighting for you to make sure that the agent that's listing the property sees you as the strongest candidate. So it's really important to not just focus on, am I bidding the highest on this home? It's how am I presenting myself as a buyer to come off as the strongest buyer within these 10 or 15 offers that are being placed.
Yeah, definitely. We all are gonna be, be there and protect you throughout the process. Another thing is that the selling agent is, or the listing agent, not because he's gonna get multiple offers and some of them are gonna be really high. That doesn't mean that they're gonna pick the highest one all the time, because they are also trying to protect their seller. If they do pick a one that is really high because they want to net the most for their client, again, if the buyer doesn't want to pay at the end of the day, everything can go down. So the transaction could, just go down, and we don't want that to happen. So we will always try to protect you throughout the process. Let me see what other questions are there. In terms of the election, they're asking about whether the election, the upcoming election, presidential election, is going to have anything to do, what changes do we anticipate for that? I think it's really, really a really good question, but also a very difficult one. We really don't know what is going to happen, right? The only thing that we can say is that, that I can say right now is that it's very difficult to say what that would be. I don't know if you guys have any intel that I don't.
Yeah, I want to comment on that briefly. I think, again, going back to what I had said earlier in my presentation, that it's near to impossible to predict what the housing market's going to do. I think there's a lot of speculation that if one party wins, the market will remain the same and will remain strong, versus if somebody else wins, it's going to crash or there's going to be some type of decline. My assumption is, even if there were to be a decline, everything will get evened out with interest rates going back up. So maybe you won't put down a hefty down deposit like you are right now, but you're going to make that up with your monthly payments. Again, if there's something I would love for everyone viewing right now to take away from the forum, is to purchase the home when you're ready, when you're willing, when you're able, when you find a place to call home and you can actually afford to do it, because we can wait until after the election or months after and the waters settle, but you're missing out on these months where you can just be building equity on the property. Yeah. So time is of the essence, I would say. It's something we can't get back. And if you're able to make that move, I do encourage you guys to at least consider it.
Yes, and also for our homeowners, the ones that have behind, in their minds of they're thinking about selling, now is the great opportunity, because they're going to be able to net the most out of more profit out of the sale of their home. And so it's always a good time to think about it. And if you're ready, feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to do it. Like Elsa said earlier, a comparative market analysis to let you know how much your home is worth, and we can do a net sheet at no cost and no obligation to you.
Okay. So I don't see any more questions right now, but I don't know if you guys want to touch on any other things that might come up, or unless you want to just cut it here.
I just want to add to the question about the election. With every election, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. There's always changes. But the important thing right now is that the interest rates are low, and they will continue to be low till the end of the year. That's what the lenders are predicting. So if you're thinking, if it's on your mind right now, buying or selling, why not take that first step? because we don't know, maybe next year the interest rates will shoot up. So that home that you were able to get approved for this year, you won't be able to next year. And those interest rates are fixed interest rates. So not only if you're renting right now, not only are you throwing away your money in rent instead of putting it towards your equity, and this is the time because the interest rates are low, both for the buyers and the sellers. So we all don't have that crystal ball to determine what the outcome of the election will be. But right now, what we can tell you is and guarantee you that if you purchase or sell, we will successfully complete your transaction to the best benefit for you. We will complete the transactions from A to Z, and we guarantee that you will have a great outcome. So if you have any more questions, or you want to reach out to us, or you want us to reach out to you, please do not hesitate and put your information below. Thank you. If you want information on the top 3 tips to get you ready to purchase a home, please also comment below and we will get that information to you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you very much.
joining
Thank
us. We're
you.
hoping to do this again and see you all soon. Stay safe. Thank you guys.
Bye.